Hey guys, welcome to my DPS guide for Kargath Bladefist on Highmaul, Normal, and Heroic. He's the first encounter in the raid, located in the Walled City. Kargath Bladefist is pretty much a straightforward fight. You'll see 4 flame pillar locations in here. Only 2 of them will be active throughout the fight, and if one deactivates, another random pillar will activate in a few seconds. You don't want to stand in the fire, as you'll take a lot of damage and it makes it harder for the healers to keep up. If you stand on a flame pillar that's about to activate, you will get knocked back, take a lot of damage, and most likely die. I don't need to tell you guys how to stand in fire. You've played enough games to know that fire is generally a bad thing. Alright, there are also tiger pits in here. Be sure not to fall in them or stand near a flame pillar that's about to activate. If you're standing on a flame pillar when it activates, the knockback could send you into the tiger pits, and these tigers do massive damage and have the potential to kill you instantly. One of Kargath's abilities is the Chain Hurl ability, which picks up the 5 nearest players and throws them into the audience up on the balcony. You can make a team before the encounter that should have 5 people, a tank, a healer, and 3 DPS, and these 5 people should hug Kargath when he's about to cast Chain Hurl. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this, since you can also jump down and ignore the audience, but if you have unexperienced or low level item group, however, it's not the best idea to jump down. But since Kargath is a pretty simple and easy encounter, you'll most likely be fine. If your raid decides to do the balcony anyways, kill the adds and make sure you won't take any damage from the bombs these mobs drop. Another ability is the Berserker Rush. This is the most important ability that Kargath has, but at the same time it's also the easiest ability to avoid. Whenever Kargath uses Berserker Rush, you should kite him to the flame pillars. Kargath will target a random ranged DPS or healer and fixate on them, chasing them for about 20 seconds and damaging everybody who's in front of him. Players hit by Berserker Rush will most likely die or take a lot of damage. Kargath gains both a damage dealt buff and a movement speed buff every 2 seconds while using Berserker Rush, so don't try to kite him without the flame pillars. Berserker Rush can only be stopped by kiting Kargath through an active flame pillar. So whenever he locks onto you, you'll have to either start running towards an active flame pillar, or even better, be already positioned next to a flame pillar before he even uses this ability. Keep in mind that there are only 2 flame pillars active throughout the encounter, so it's best to run to a different flame pillar every time yours deactivates, to make sure that you're standing near an active pillar in case he decides to fixate on you. Also, do not use abilities like Greater Invisibility or Feign Death while he's fixating on you, because Kargath will retarget a random player and Berserk Rush will continue on that new player. Kargath also has an ability called Blade Dance. What this does is he runs towards a player every 2 seconds for about 10 seconds and he does AoE damage. So when he starts using this, he'll want to spread out, that way only one player takes the damage and the rest of the party won't take unnecessary damage. The ability can be recognized by Kargath sort of teleporting to players and then heading back to a spot in the middle. This ability can't be avoided like the Berserker Rush, but it shouldn't be a problem as long as your healers are keeping up on the job, and the DPS stay spread out so only one person takes the damage. Another ability he has is Mauling Brew. Sometimes there will be a green pool on the ground, do not stand in it. When you see a green indicator under you, get away as soon as possible. If you stay in the circle, you will get hit, and if it hits you, it does 100k damage, and then another 62.5k damage every second until the pool disappears. So like most bosses, don't stand in the stuff on the ground. So here's what you want to do. Players should use Bloodlust, Heroism, or Time Warp at the beginning of the fight. Players in the Chain Hurl team should hug Kargath when he starts casting Chain Hurl. Players who aren't in the Chain Hurl team should move away from Kargath so they won't end up in the balcony. Don't stand in an active pillar. Don't stand in an inactive flame pillar in case it activates and knocks you back into the tigers. Ranged DPS should be standing next to or near active flame pillars in case Kargath uses Berserker Rush. If Kargath uses Berserker Rush, kite him to the flame pillars, which will stop this ability. Be sure to avoid the tiger pits whenever you kite Kargath during Berserker Rush, and don't stand in front of him when he locks onto a player. Do not stand in the Mauling Brew ability, the green pool on the ground, because that will do a lot of damage that you don't need to take. Ranged DPS should spread out to avoid other people taking damage when Kargath uses Blade Dance. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.